The beginning of the Gospel according to John. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was in the beginning with God. All things came into being through him, and without him not one thing came into being. What has come into being in him was life, and the life was the light of all people. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness did not overcome it. There was a man sent from God whose name was John. He came as a witness to testify to the light, so that all might believe through him. He himself was not the light, but he came to testify to the light. The true light, which enlightens everyone, was coming into the world. He was in the world, and the world came into being through him, yet the world did not know him. He came to what was his own, and his own people did not accept him. But to all who received him, who believed in his name, he gave power to become children of God, who were born not of blood or of the will of the flesh or of the will of man, but of God. And the Word became flesh and lived among us, and we have seen his glory, the glory as of a Father's only Son, full of grace and truth. John testified to him and cried out, "This was he of whom I said, he who comes after me ranks ahead of me, because he was before me." From his fullness we have all received grace upon grace. The law, indeed, was given through Moses. Grace and truth came through Jesus Christ. No one has ever seen God. It is God, the only Son, who is close to the Father's heart, who has made him known. Most of that uniquely famous passage we heard read a week ago. The first 14 verses of John's extraordinary prologue to his gospel, those first 14 verses are the great gospel of Christmas, a gospel which transports us away from the very temporal images of shepherds and Mary and Joseph and the stable and all the rest of it. John takes things to a timeless and eternal mood. John takes us into the heart of what it means to say that God is the Word made flesh. And it's good to hear the passage again. There was a custom of the church once that at every single celebration of the Eucharist, there would be the gospel of the day, and then just at the end of the service after communion, there was a period when the church read these words at every single service. They are words which bear repetition, and it's particularly good to hear them on New Year's Eve as we look back, and my word, what a year we have to look back on, and we also look forward. It's good to hear these words as we prepare to make resolutions which are going to need grace and truth and not just law to help us keep them. And particularly after the horrible year that has been 2020, it's very good to be reminded at this turn of the year that the light shone in the darkness, and the darkness did not overcome it. That good news, that eternal good news, needs to fashion our approach to the end of this year and the approach of the coming year. That's the heart of the Christian gospel. That is what sets the Christian faith out and against all the other faiths of the world, because we believe in the Word being made flesh. We believe in God, the great Creator, giving a damn and being born into this world, and thus illuminating this world with God's presence in a way that couldn't get more intense, more personal, and more life-giving. That, as I said, needs to inform both the look over our shoulder back at the past year and our hope for what is to come. Amen.